Imagine you're a young teenager, hanging out at your friend's house because your mum has work. It's the early 2010s, it's sunny outside, but you prefer playing inside. You're looking at a stack of green boxes on the floor in front of you. Your budding interest in Japan draws you to a box adorned with 3 ninjas. The experience of playing this game on that summer's day is burnt into your memories, and when you think back to the Xbox 360, this game comes to mind. Anyway, it was like £1.30 in the Steam Spring Sale, so...
Get ready. Fight! Time over. Perfect!
Thank you for playing.
Mini Ninjas is a third-person action-adventure game that was released in the EU on September 11th, 2009. Developed by IO Interactive before being bought by Square Enix and being renamed to Square Enix Europe. Then being abandoned by Square Enix after over half the staff were laid off and returning to being the good old IO Interactive. The studio primarily developed Hitman and the Kane and Lynch games. Making Mini Ninja was a surprising turn for the Copenhagen-based studio. I'm really glad for this one-time foray into family-friendly fun because I got to play Mini Ninjas. Oh, and I will be spoiling this game if you care about the plot of a 14-year-old children's game. The story of Mini Ninjas is fairly simple. The setting? Ancient Japan. Peace and harmony are all the rage, but the evil samurai warlord Ashida wants none of that hippie shit and turns all the peaceful forest animals into samurai warriors. The ninja master atop his ninja mountain sends his best disciple, Kunoichi, to investigate. When she doesn't return, he sends his next best, Tora, then Shun, then Suzume, all failing to return. After months of worry, he looks to his last 2 unprepared ninjas, Hiro and Futo, our player characters. The game starts in this gorgeous little village populated by Tengu, with one single voice actor.
There you are. Did you speak to the ninja master?
I love the lush, dense grass and the calming atmosphere. The chunky, stylized models and textures have this gorgeous ambiance to them. The trees especially are so much nicer looking than Pokemon Sword and Shield, that's for sure. The way the sunflowers line the houses and the water flows gently through the village. But they clearly don't want it to flood, so they try to stop it with this wooden support structure. The village feels so lived in and so very safe. The perfect place to start any adventure. Along with the Japanese flute music and the gentle sound effects, this place is so nice. Speaking of audio, if you do get the game, I had trouble getting the audio to play. I have no idea why, but if you do have this issue, I found downloading OpenAI fixed it. I didn't even do anything with it, I just downloaded it onto my computer and then the audio started working. I haven't got a clue what causes it, but that did help. Anyway, we're sent down to get our final bits of training before being sent off on the same quest that potentially claimed our more skilled ninja peers. This is our tutorial. The basics of combat are fairly simple. X on the 360 controller to attack, and Y to stun. A to jump, hold B to run. At any time you can swap to Futo, our other ninja, and play as him instead. Throughout the adventure, you save and unlock all the other ninjas, totaling 6 playable ninjas, all with their own skills, strengths, and weaknesses. This gives combat its complexity, and you as the player, options of how to fight different types of samurai. The pace for unlocking the ninjas is nice and quick. They come at the perfect time to counter the new situations the game throws at you. Swapping between the ninjas gives what could be a simple system its needed flair. Add on to that the easily missable unlockable spells and items, and you have a deceivingly simple but robust combat system that allows you to play around and discover tactics on your own. While we're speaking about mechanics, I love the hat. It's so simple, click the stick and put your hat on. The hat has so many uses, from a rowboat to a snowboard, all with the same button press. So now we must put on our hat and head off on our adventure. The game is split into 5 distinct zones, each ending with a boss fight. The zones are all still Japan themed, but each area has been damaged by environmental conditions. The structure of each zone is basically the same. You have an open environment section, samurai camps, free your friend, and then castle. But I never found myself bored. I think it's because each zone is so unique while keeping the same general theming. The first zone, as with most games, is the most peaceful. I mentioned the ninja village that you start in, but you also get to enjoy lush bamboo forests and gentle streams you can float down with your trusty hat. In this first zone, you rescue Suzume, the flute-wielding ninja. Entering the last level of the area to a desolate, damaged landscape with a castle atop a barren hill is so striking in its tonal shift, but it's really effective in making you feel the danger, especially now that it's night. The area ends with you infiltrating a castle to fight the boss. The castles make you feel the most like a ninja. Each is incredibly dangerous, meaning you need to scale the walls and sneak across wires between rooftops to avoid detection, especially in these early areas when you have less tools at your disposal. The first area culminates with the first boss. The second area is similar in lots of ways, but your party has clearly been traveling for a while. Time has passed, and now you're journeying through an amber sunset of a new day into an uncertain evening. The colors have been slightly desaturated with an orange overlay. Samurai warriors appear more frequently. The lush bamboo and grass are more sparse. Even the waterways are slightly more dangerous, leaving you feeling like you truly have left the safety of your mountain home. The water rapids segment early on in this area has some incredible framing. Look at this. The rushing waters pulling you between two rock faces, too steep to scale, with cherry blossom trees covering the overhead, giving this dangerous tunnel feeling right before throwing you over the waterfall, only for the piece to return with a splash. As you progress through the levels of the area and nightfall falls over the game, the bright colors shift into a darker blue, very well juxtaposed by the new, more dangerous red samurai, all leading towards a more elaborate castle you have to parkour through, and then fight a very silly boss. The humor in this game is indeed quite childish, but you know, a fart joke every now and then does no harm, and the boss fights don't overstay their welcome. A quick 3 hits and you're done kind of thing. Find the right spot in the arena, trigger the quick time event 3 times later, and you're done. Each area ends with these really fun cutscenes of the big bad samurai warlord.
They were invincible! We are doomed! You moron! Oh, no!
It's really lighthearted, and I think you need that in the game. The final boss plays slightly differently, but I'll talk about that a bit later. The next area I would consider the water levels. The rice paddies have flooded. Barrels and crates are strewn everywhere. I really like the bit early on in this area where a Tengu asks you to check on his Tengu grandfather, leading you to gaining a fishing rod that you then use to hook a giant koi who pulls you through the rushing currents. I thought this was a side quest right up until I realized it was progressing me through the area. I was just really excited to do more fishing. Using your trusty hat boat, you now get to navigate through those lush bamboo forests with an added water element and make your way to the intimidating castle atop the hill. The castles really start to flesh themselves out here with all the different kinds of samurai you have to contend with. The only negative I have to say about this area is that the water navigation is not quite tight enough to get up these fucking stairs. The next area I would call the mist area, or maybe the spooky area. Shrouded in a thick fog, you must navigate through tall trees and mountains, sneaking up on roaming bands of samurai as you go. You're definitely not safe anymore, and approaching the climax as you rescue the last kidnapped ninja. Your powers are strong, you know how to fight, and you're ready to strike. This foggy bridge section was especially cool, with the snow falling on the bridge, highlighting the huge enemy you have to fight further along. I just think the art direction and framing in this game is spectacular. The bridge sort of acts like a break between the misty forest and the snowy mountains. From this point on, these sneaky ninja-esque samurai become a problem. They're so damn hard to beat. I found that shooting them with arrows was the best way to keep them off your back because they block everything. Traversing up the snowy mountain, you make your way closer and closer to the castle at its peak, truly giving it that grandiose feel I wasn't expecting when I came into Mini Ninjas. I only really remember the first area from my childhood, so getting to experience the whole journey properly has been so fun. The boss fight with the Tengu samurai at the top was especially memorable. Like the others, it was a simple 3-step QuickTime event. But look at the arena! The whole fight takes place at the very top of the castle, at the very top of a snowy mountain, in a snowstorm. The red lanterns give a really nice pop of color to the arena too. Right after the battle, you get to snowboard down the mountain in your trusty hat. I told you it was very, very versatile. The snowboarding was way harder than I expected too. Definitely one of the best set pieces in the game, and a great reward for beating the boss. The final area transitions you from a snowy landscape into a desiccated, ruined one, with a battered, broken castle for you to battle through. Fighting through this area, full of the toughest enemies, felt fittingly final, and I was ready to take on the final boss. Speaking of the boss, look at how awesome this is! To get to the top, you have to climb through the flaming wreckage of this titan. Once you're at the top, you get to face the Samurai Master. This boss is slightly different and more complex than the others, but because I managed to save up almost every conceivable potion throughout the game, I just spammed this meteor spell and saved the day. Such a satisfying conclusion to a really fun game. I played it over around 5 sessions, totaling a playtime of around 6.5 hours. Really, really good for £1.30. I'm not sure the game has much replayability. You can collect all the plants and craft all the items, but I'm happy with how much I've played. I had a great time, and I've especially enjoyed thinking about the distinct art direction of each area as I've been writing the script. The thesis of this video is mostly just check out Mini Ninjas if you want to have a fun time with an older game. This video was going to be longer and I was going to analyze more of the gameplay, but you know what? The most impactful thing of this game to me is definitely the art direction. I think that's what I want to highlight. The video can be a little shorter, I don't care, I just want you to look at how pretty this game is, and let me know down in the comments if you agree with me. And if you don't let me know. I want to live in my own little bubble where I think this game is gorgeous. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Feel free to hit like and subscribe and tell me what you think of this style of content. I had a lot of fun making it. If you like anime, make sure you check out MerriKiwi, the channel I run with my partner. We just released a deep dive into anime demographics and I'm really proud of it, and writing that script kind of inspired this one, instead of it being just a standard gameplay video. Anyway, bye bye!